This one is for the ladies who doesn't feel beautiful. And I just want to remind you, you are beautiful. Who even decides what's beautiful and not beautiful anyway? It's about feeling beautiful. But we all know that what matters is what's inside. People say that all the time, and your loved ones or strangers might tell you, like, oh, you're beautiful or you look great. But unfortunately, when we don't feel that way about ourselves, even if we hear that, like, I don't feel like it's really meaningful. Like, it doesn't really, I don't know, it's not very, like, believable, you know? So today I just wanted to quickly maybe share a little bit about my story. Um, I was born and raised in South Korea, and if you know anything about South Korea, Korean people are very like on top of their beauty stuff. Like they always seem to have like a flawless skin. They're always done up really nice, and you know, their beauty standard is just really high, let's just say. So growing up there, honestly, I felt so insecure about myself. Like I always felt like I was just always fat and not pretty enough. And I spent most of my teens, even before that, just thinking about how when I grow up, I wanted to get a plastic surgery and just fix everything up. I'm glad that that never ended up happening, but so even up until like early 30s, I was really insecure. Of course, we all know what makeup can do. So I used to love wearing tons of makeup, and I did develop this kind of like a fake confidence, but it was ridiculous because I couldn't even go outside to throw the trash without makeup. So like I was that insecure. I just always had to wear like full on makeup just to go throw the trash out or to go to the store, and of course, not to even mention my unhealthy relationship with food. And I was always trying to starve myself to lose my weight. And for a long time, I secretly struggled with eating disorder for a really, really long time. And it's gotten so much better, but sometimes I still have, like, I'm still kind of healing from that toxic relationship with food. Um, so yeah, like I was a very, very insecure person. But a few years ago, when I embarked on spiritual journey, I wanted to have a spiritual experience, you know? Um, let's just say I was practicing and trying to learn how to meditate because I wanted to have like out of body experience kind of. And somebody mentioned to me like you should try visualizing yourself, like looking at yourself from outside perspective view. So one day I was meditating and I sat there, try to, visualize myself, and I couldn't remember what I looked like. Seriously, I couldn't remember, and harder I tried, like more I couldn't remember what I looked like. So I'm sitting there, try to visualize like looking in the mirror because how can I not remember what I look like looking in the mirror every single day for 30 something years? You know what I mean? So I was getting really frustrated. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I remember what I look like? And I had this kind of like a thought or a voice in my head, like, why do you want to look at me? Because all you're going to think is that I'm ugly. And I was a little bit kind of like shocked of that thought because I was in denial of how I was feeling about myself because I was busy covering it up. with makeup and things like that, and I always like told myself that I am attractive, you know? So when that thought came to me, like it was kind of shocking, and I was like, what was that? So then I was like, well, what are you talking about? Like, let me see. And this, like reflecting, it's probably my inner child or my inner self. And I was like, no, I don't want you to look at me because all you ever think is that I'm ugly. So why do you want to look? And that's when it kind of really hit me that how I truly felt about myself. Okay, maybe eventually we can get into more in depth of my spiritual journey, but I was very, very unaware before of myself and all that. So it was really shocking that I even had that kind of thought in subconscious mind behind this fake confidence that I built up over the years by putting on tons of makeup and covering myself up with my hair and things like that. So that's when I started practicing, uh, self love affirmations, even though they said the affirmations don't really work. I think in that sense, I practice like going in front of the mirror and like looking at myself and telling myself that I love me. Like I say, I love you. And at first, it was so strange, but over time, it became easier and easier. And something interesting that happened is that when I started practicing this, naturally I start to shift my kind of behavior towards myself, I guess. I used to be like, used to do like toxic things. I ate so much sugar and I ate horrible things and I used to smoke a lot, which is like just so bad looking back now. After I started practicing that, I quit smoking. And it was like nothing. I just didn't want to smoke anymore. And I didn't want to, start putting in these kind of things. Like it just kind of happened naturally. And wanting to start trying like yoga and different things. And over the years, I have become a completely different person. Not alone, like, I feel completely different about myself now than I used to. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that feeling of beauty is not really something that somebody can tell us that you're beautiful, or whatever, even though we kind of like have a longing for that. I don't know if you noticed, but it really never does anything if we don't actually feel that way. So I wanted to show up here, and today I wanted to kind of remind you that you are beautiful, but the feeling of that kind of beauty is not necessarily something what other people think or say. It has to kind of come from us. And I realized that when we truly like accept and appreciate ourselves and like love ourselves, you will start to see that you look different in the mirror. And the days that you like actually, that love that comes from you, it really makes you glow. And not to say, there are some days I'm not happy with myself. When I said I would show up on something and I don't, and when it accumulates and I start to lose that kind of like self-trust and confidence with myself, I'm just not happy the way I look in the mirror and my hair, you know what I mean? And no matter what I do, it just doesn't change. And I finally realized that the way I look when I look at myself in the mirror had so much to do with how I feel about myself, you know? So I just want to remind you, you are beautiful and you are worthy. So I want you to start showing up for yourself. Start building that connection and the trust and love with yourself, and it will naturally and automatically will help you eat healthier, and which you will want to start taking care of yourself by going to the gym, maybe dress nicer, or whatever that it is. You will start to naturally glow from like inside out. So if you're not feeling beautiful, I just want to remind you, you are. You just have to come back to inward, and just learn to and start to just truly appreciate you, like, for who you are, and not focus on outside of like what other people are looking like or what other people are saying about you. Because I used to be so insecure. Now I think I can really care less. I have this one neighbor. She is very strange. Like, she's like really critical. Like, she loves criticizing about things. And the other day, she told me, basically, I used to have really long hair and then I cut them. And she's like, "You looked so much better and more beautiful when you had long hair." And I was just thinking, like, what is the point of saying that? Like, I mean, everything happens for a reason, and I think it was the universe testing me. And at first, I was like a little bit triggered because I'm like, who says that? Like, what's your point? But later on, I really realized, before I was out, like, I would have been like healed. That would have bothered me so much, and that would make me feel so insecure. And I would start being like, oh my God, why did I cut my hair? But I looked at her and I said, well, that's your opinion, because I love my short hair. I love this new look. So who cares? So that's when I kind of really realized like how much I have healed. So stop giving so much credit to these other people and people outside of you. I just want to remind you to focus on yourself, and you know don't give so much credit to what people are saying, their opinions. It really doesn't matter. Okay? Just come back to you. You're worthy and you're beautiful. And I don't even know, like, who even decides what's beautiful and what's not beautiful. This whole social media and like Instagram and all these things, they're so toxic. I understand that there are a lot of beautiful people in the world, but I think the thing is, some of those really beautiful women, I don't think that they feel beautiful because they're always looking for like something to change, like always doing like, more fillers and more this. And I'm not saying that's bad, but like even the people that you think that they're beautiful, they might not feeling that way. And because you're beautiful doesn't mean that there's no problem in life anyways. So just accept yourself as you are, and you are beautiful because you are created by God in the universe. So I just wanted to quickly remind you, the beauty is not something that's outside of you, it is something that's inside of you. And you already know this. I'm just a reminder. Okay? I love you, and I hope you have a blessed day or evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.